Hello everybody, welcome once again. So in this video we'll integrate the authentication system in our application. So we'll use JWT authentication system. For that we'll use this package called Diamond Designs JWT Auth. So let's start by installing this package. So here I'll include this line in our composer.json. So here, and simply run composer update. Okay, after composer update is done, I will just include this provider in our app.php. Okay, under provider I'll include just below here. Also we'll add this alias and we'll generate this config file with this command. So open terminal and paste this command. Okay, after this command we published this file inside our config folder. If you go to config, you'll find the JWT file. Here you can see different setting. So now let's generate the secret key with this command. Okay, so as you can see, this updated this secret key. Okay, so now this package is installed. Okay, next we'll add the view for login and logout section. So let's begin. To get login and register view, you can simply run php artisan make auth. After that you'll have a login and register view which you can use to create a login and register component. So here you can create new file. And you can remove these. And add new object for login. So that's it, point to login, and component name is same as well, same for register. And inside this file we'll copy the code of register.plate. And you can clean up the you can clear up this form since we'll be submitting with Ajax. Okay, you can clear up these name, we don't need them. Okay, that looks cool. So yeah, so now we have routes. Let's add them in our nav. Okay, inside nav.plate we can add two more links to register and sign up, login and register. Okay, we don't see templates because we are not wrapping them inside templates. Sorry about that. Okay, make correction for login.view as well. Okay, with that correction, let's switch back to browser and see. Yeah, we can see register and login. Okay, so first let's handle the register logic. We'll do the AJAX request to same URL register. Since we got all the URLs, since we run PHP artisan make auth, so PHP artisan route list, you can see the list of routes. Alright, so we'll be doing the AJAX to this post register. So these get requests we don't need. Similarly for login, we will do this post request to this login route. Let's go to register.view and in our form let's bind them to some variable. So first let's create the data. So I'll just call register and this will contain name. This will be empty by default and we'll require email, also password. Okay, let's bind these to our form input field. For name, so vmodel register dot name, and I'll do same for other fields as well. Here we can remove this confirm password field, since you can validate using the package like vvalidate, but in this video I'll just focus on this. Alright, so now we have these fields, and now let's send the request to server to create these fields. So I'll create new method and we'll send this register, this dot register, this data to server. Okay, let's call this method on submit. So on submit we'll call the method name register user, also will prevent the default action. Okay, let's handle the backend logic for register. So I decided to create new controller for that rather than using these default. So let's create a new controller. So PHP artisan make controller. So I'll name it user controller. Okay, let's open that. Alright, so here I'll create one method for login. Sorry, first let's create for register. Okay, first we'll validate the request and then we'll create that on database and then we'll send response. So let's validate. So actually I'll copy that from register controller, so we'll not need this confirmed. Okay, validation part done. Now let's create. So user create and request, so we need to import that. Okay, so everything fillable. Now we can send the response. Return will return user created. Okay, let's send just created user. So we'll send array. So first Okay, after that let's go to web.php. So here we are not using this auth route, so remove that. Instead we'll create new route. Okay, you can create one for logout and one for register and another one for login. Okay, so now we have register, login and logout, and it should point to register. It should point to login. Okay, we'll create this in a moment. Okay, sorry about that. This method should be post. Now register. Yeah, so we get message user created, and the created user is this. Okay, now that we have successfully registered, now let's log in. Okay, so here let's create another method. So here also we'll validate. This time we need email and password. Okay, so after validation we'll generate a token, JWT token. So for that we need to check the credentials. So I'll create a new variable credential, and this will contain request only email and password. Okay, so if token equals to JWT auth attempt, we'll pass this credential. So if that is true, actually if that is not true, we'll send error message. So return. So if this passes, we'll return token. So token equals to token. So this token will be this variable. Yeah, for now just pass that. Okay, so let's test this. This time we'll log in with email address and our password. Alright, we need to uncomment this login, so this will also be post. Okay, also we need to import this. So here you can import like this. So if you are using IDE, you can just import this easily, otherwise you can find that in documentation page here. Okay, so after that let's test. So we'll log in with just created users credentials, and let's see, inspect. Okay, so when we hit login, okay, it's sent not authenticated. Let's see what's the issue. We need to decrypt this password instead of sending just text. So we can do that in register. So instead of creating like that, you can create like this. So user, new user, and we'll So we'll pass is name equals to okay. Now that we get this token, let's store that. So in login.view, so after the response, so what we'll do is, so this is inside data token. All right, so we'll get this token. So if token is not empty, we'll store this. So we'll store this in our local storage. Okay, in order to store the token locally, so we can get this token from response token, and if token is not empty, we can store it with name token. Okay, so it's like setting a session. All right, okay, so now we have token in our local storage. We can use it to make a request to a protected route. So let's protect the route with middleware. Actually, this comes with middleware JWT auth. So if you go to authentication, you'll find these two routes, to refresh and auth. So we need auth route. So first we need to register this in our http kernel.php. So let's go to http kernel.php, and inside this route middleware, just paste this. Okay, so now we can use this middleware in our route. Actually, we want to protect our notebook index, so we can do that in our controller. Okay, so let's create a constructor. Okay, so in order to protect this index, we created a constructor and then call this middleware name jwt.auth, and then we apply it to index only. Okay, so now let's try to access the home page without passing a header. So let's refresh. Let's go to home. Okay, so this time we cannot access this, so request failed. Now let's pass the token. Okay, inside login.view, so once again, sorry, my mistake. So response.data.token, so it's inside data object. Okay, so now we can store the token in our local storage. So let's check, refresh, open up console. So when we try to log in, yeah, we get token. And application, yeah, this time we store the token inside our local storage. So okay, so now let's go to home again. Let's see on console. Yeah, so this time we get object. So actually we can define it here. Token. Yeah, so what we can do is now, yes, so here, so we can pass this token parameter, and value will be this dot token. Okay, so let's refresh. Yeah, so now we can access this route. Cool, right? Yeah, so if you do not pass this token, we can't. Okay, so if you refresh, yeah, so this time you cannot access this route. You have to pass token to access that. Okay, so hope you learned something. We covered authentication system in this video. So we included login, register, and how we can protect some routes and the way to access them. So yeah, so see you in the next video. Bye.